Good evening and welcome back to my Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where we do indeed, I think, I don't know if we've got any actual black diamonds. Let's have a look. Still not Keskalokil, it's Esmulrakust. Wrong fortress. Yes, we do indeed have some black diamonds around. Excellent. I didn't actually confirm that before I chose that song, but that's clearly good. Hang on, I just need to sort out where I'm running IRC or I'll be confused. Right, there we go. And I didn't do the faff with the game log either. Not that I suspect anyone's going to pay attention, but that the right password? No. Didn't feel like the right password. Right. So, yes, last time we had a quite enthusiastic goblin siege, which was interesting in many ways. Well, several ways at least. So one interesting thing was that they brought both a cave dragon and indeed I think two troll siege engineers. The cave dragon got into the fortress as far as the Barbican, and so I deliberately attempted to lock it in there and everyone else outside so that we could kill it without too much interference. And it came back out to the main gate and knocked down the drawbridge we had just closed behind it. Then the troll siege engineer constructed this above, so this we're now a Z level above the main entrance, constructed this platform out here and then a downward staircase and then the platform along there, and then got shot vigorously by our the bolt thrower. If the troll siege engineer had been slightly more careful, she could have gone, I think it was she, could have gone a bit further and come down in front, if she'd come down directly in front of the hole that the dragon had just made in our main gate, I think she could have constructed something that would actually bypass our bolt thrower. However, she wasn't that clever, apparently. But still, that was like the beginnings of an actually useful engineered attack on our fortress. I did think later, actually, that an even more sensible thing for a siege engineer to do would be to build walls in front of the goblins. So, essentially construct a wall that the goblins could hide behind while advancing on the fortress. Another way in which this didn't work, in addition to the troll siege engineer taking the wrong route and ending up in front of the bolt thrower, is that basically all of the goblins were dead by the time she got there. They had not had the patience to wait for their engineer to construct them a way into the fortress and had just charged the main entrance and all got killed. Indeed, they were so keen that I think we had 2 or 3 dwarves outside the fortress who survived simply by virtue of the goblins never bothering to go after them because there was the front gate that they could assault fruitlessly. So that was, yes, foolish of the goblins, and this conveniently means that basically all of the dead goblins are in a big pile just outside the front gate, apart from a few who made it into the Barbican and got to die there instead. We do have a cave dragon corpse, and one thing I think we should do is to butcher that swiftly, because there's good eating, really some eating on a cave dragon. Weighs 2.5 tons. There's quite a bit of good eating on that cave dragon, and it's valuable meat and valuable bones. I don't think we can do anything with the scales, sadly, which seems unfortunate. Obviously, you should be able to make dragon scale mail. One of the odd things is you can't, in Dwarf Fortresses, I don't think you can tan reptile skins or skins made of scales in general. And we realised that we couldn't use the catapult before it killed anyone, including our own dwarves, and the bolt throwers were terrifyingly effective, and possibly a little overpowered. But we're not going to argue about that right now. So I think I ran through the post siege checklist, so things should be kind of normal now. I think the immediate thing I want to do is to take this stockpile that's of things that are worth butchering and add cave dragons to it. It already knows about cave crocodiles, but cave dragons are even bigger and scarier. That should then get that dragon corpse butchered, which I think should be the highest priority before it rots. And then our second priority is to dispose of all these dead goblins and trolls and beak dogs and more goblins. And then our third priority is to tidy everything else up a bit. Though some tidying up will happen automatically. So let's unpause and allow some of that to happen. You fighting by standing up. All right, yes. So the last few goblins actually got killed by the departing trade caravan, because they left before the goblins had officially finished the siege. But there were like 4 goblins left alive, and the Axeworf who came with the trade caravan was quite capable of dealing with them on their own. On her own. Though admittedly is now departing in a slightly surprising direction. So, yes, we kind of hope. Possibly there's now a phenomenal number of store item in thing jobs pending. Not that many yet. Might take a little while before people decide that the Dragon Corpse needs moving. I have done all the things, haven't I? I have paused that burrow. I have the corpse isn't forbidden; it's accessible. By 2 different routes. I would expect it should be scheduled for storing. Also slightly going, why is there a give food task? No one's in the hospital. Oh, maybe it's a child. Maybe children need feeding occasionally. All right, there is now a task relating to that Dragon Corpse. Good. It just took a little while to get properly scheduled. Someone is at some point going to turn up and collect the Dragon Corpse. There they go. And haul it away quite slowly because it's very heavy. I think there's an enormous number of people filling up this the bin in this next to this bolt thrower with single crossbow bolts for the annoyance of the next person who has to use the bolt thrower. Right, so don't know if I really need to wait for that corpse to be put in the right place, but let's do so anyway for form's sake. And then we'll start disposing of the bits of goblin. So now someone should immediately, we should immediately get a butchery task being scheduled. Oh, which is scheduled at the butcher's shop, not the kitchen, Stoat. Right, so the cave dragon is now being converted into a pile of useful cave dragon bits and useless cave dragon bits. So I think now we want to start marking a lot of corpses for dumping so that they don't stink the place up. I mean, the ones indoors are obviously the first ones that want to be got rid of. As they will rot badly. We should also demolish that bit of extraneous construction on our, out at the front of our fortress, because that's not a bit of construction we want. If we just remove that square there, the whole thing will fall into the moat and will not drown anyone because there's no water in the moat. I don't think the person responsible will get knocked into the moat, though I'm a little bit worried about that, I will admit. But I think carefully dismantling it rather than just dropping the whole lot into the moat is just too much like hard work. Section of the cavern has collapsed. I presume that's indeed up there. Yes, that's fine. Oh dear, that was much messier than I'd expected. Right, next time I'll be more careful.
Didn't we have an incident in Cascalocal where you triggered a deliberate collapse and it was much messier than expected?
Yes, yes. That was over the water though. We were that I thought here we would be safe, but no, our unfortunate miner got knocked off the cliff while they were digging the thing out. So we do. It apparently caused such a big cloud of saltpeter. Or of black sand actually, that it knocked them off the edge of the cliff they were cutting through, and they fell down into the moat onto the spikes. Yes, well, sorry, we'll do it the slow way next time. Right, so all of the indoor dead goblins have been picked up. So now there's going to be a lot more. I mean, I suppose actually what I could do is this going to work reasonably well. We're quite good at consuming body parts in this place, so we might not have. I mean, we could start by just tagging anything. Maybe we need. Are they under corpses here then? Anything that looks like a goblin or a beak. I mean, beak dogs. Are beak dogs worth butchering? I wonder. I can't remember. Value multiplier 2. No, I don't think so. We can at least mark everything that's obviously a goblin corpse for, or a beak dog corpse or a troll corpse for dumping, and then see what's left. No, not the stray dog mangled. Well, we probably do want to dump the stray dog mangled skeleton, actually. More helpful if these were organised by species or something, but we do what we can. This is still quicker than finding them all out in the world. Yes, we may not have lost any dwarves in that siege, but we definitely lost a quantity of other animals. How do you get... Was there a wheelbarrow that fell down somewhere? Apparently so. I don't quite know how that wheelbarrow ended up there. Presume someone is coming to deal with our injured person, yes. Huge crowds of dwarves leave the fortress in order to collect dead goblins. Which will mean all of them are like, ugh, I'm having to deal with dead goblins. Well, except for you. I mean, admittedly, possibly they all just don't feel anything as a result. It looks like they're mostly unconcerned about the experience of hauling dead goblins around, which is probably for the best. Our rubbish disposal system is still working. No one has yet managed to either get run down by the minecarts or stop them working properly, which is pretty good really for my minecarts. Are you just repeatedly standing up now, Reg? Yes. That's definitely a goblin component. Not quite sure how they're leaving their upper arm all the way over there, though. Like, what took that off? All the stuff around here is now coated with black sand as a result of the mess that I made demolishing the siege, the siege construction. Right, so, oops, I clearly missed a small number of goblin corpses. Mostly goblin swordsmen, it looks like. Oh, wrong place. We want to look there. Okay, that should be dumped. And of course there are bits of goblin lying around all over the place that are slightly harder to find in the list because you only get a name and a superscript 2 indicating some kind of body part. So you have to kind of slightly guess that it's goblin by the name. I mean, here I'm just going, it's a body part outside the fortress. It's probably, and it looks goblin named. It probably belonged to a goblin once. Right, that's beginning to look tidier. I mean, there's still blood everywhere, but there don't seem to be many bits of goblin left. That's nice. So then I suppose we start reclaiming the items that have been left lying around and that are currently forbidden. That in particular will mean picking up all of the lost crossbow bolts. But again, happily these will largely be in sensible places. That is near to the front of the fortress, except there's probably a pile of crossbow bolts on the edge of the map or something. Oh, it doesn't seem to be actually. I wonder what happens to the crossbow bolts that disappear off this way. They just get lost. Have they ended up in a tree somewhere? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I can't work out where they've gone. Oh well, that's fine. Right, so we should probably build a new drawbridge. Since someone went and knocked down the old one. I think possibly people are now picking up crossbow bolts. Everyone is picking up crossbow bolts.
Could you at least send someone out with a wheelbarrow so they won't carry them one by one?
They'll carry lots of them happily. Like if we pick someone who appears to be heading indoors carrying crossbow bolts, they do actually like have about 20 of them. I'm not sure if crossbow bolts can be moved by wheelbarrow. Maybe I should test that.
I mean, it did seem to me that in the siege, the limiting factor on bolt thrower tended to be people carrying crossbow bolts one by one back to it.
It's more loading it that's the big issue. Like we can keep quite a large stock of bolts near each bolt thrower, and we are doing. Some migrants have arrived despite the danger. Oh, stop complaining.
There isn't even an ongoing siege right now.
Yes. No one's died for months. Where are you anyway? Meanwhile, that appears to be a dog skeleton that should probably be disposed of before someone finds it and gets upset by it. Okay, I think I may have overlooked our new arrivals if they're already inside the fortress. What are you guys all carrying? Oh, soap. Why are you suddenly moving vast amounts of tiger soap around? Where are you taking it? You're going to wash yourself. Where are you going to wash yourself that involves leaving the fortress? You decided that you're not willing to just use the well. Instead, you're going to go and be grouchy out in the sunshine. And go over to the river. Or a pond. I'm also slightly confused because we still appear to have 91 dwarves, and I thought that was our previous population.
I thought you had 81.
Oh, did we have 81? Oh, goodness, right.
I said the migrants have appeared in the count.
Right, yes, sorry. Still, you liked your soapy bath. I just don't understand why you insisted on having it outside. Have we run out of water or something? No, look, there's plenty of water down there. There's a well there. There's meant to be a well here. Why isn't there a well here? Have I demolished that well for some reason? I mean, that would kind of explain why people aren't washing themselves using that well if it's missing, but it still doesn't quite explain why they don't just go a few floors up and use the well in the hospital. Don't think we have any ludicrous buckets, do we? No. Do have some decorated ropes at least. Right, we will build a new well to stop people wandering across the map to have baths. Oh, it looks like there's still a bit of goblin there. Right, so we should build a new bridge there. We seem to have lost the bauxite that it was originally made from. Oh well, we'll make it out of limestone this time instead. There are all the saltpeter blocks. Are they ended up somewhere weird. Certainly lots of things have ended up there. Seem to have ended up with a bunch of odd bits hit in this one square that haven't been marked for dumping. And we have an immense number of crossbow bolts that have fallen into the moat one way or another and that are now being collected. Right, so yes, once that new bridge is built, then we can link that back to the correct lever. Oh, bloody Kiers. I really don't care about you stealing random bits of clothing. No, even quite a lot of random bits of clothing. Please take it away. I mean, that's quite a lot of clothing, but still. Oh yes, we should make that catapult a little bit more useful. We should link up the outer drawbridge narrow lever to outer drawbridge narrow. And we've probably got a bunch more spears and things we could stick down into the moat. What, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a curiously round number of spears for us to have in stock. We've probably also got a bunch of terrible weapons that the goblins brought with them that aren't spears. I'm going to need more mechanisms, aren't I? Anything else in here that's obviously not our kind of thing? There we go. Yes, we need more mechanisms. Okay, we'll make more mechanisms. Right. So how are we off bedrooms? We do not currently appear to have any spare bedrooms. Right. How are we off for beds? We don't have a significant number of spare beds. Right. Job the next, make beds. Also, we should probably, I can't remember the precise ratio that the wiki suggests for dining rooms, but as I recall, it's like you want one table to five dwarves. So if we're at 100 dwarves, we should probably have at least 20 tables in there. We currently have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So if nothing else, we should probably install all the tables we've currently got and then make and start decorating another batch. So no, actually, I'm going to do this first. I'll do the chairs first because it's easier to work out where they're meant to go. Also, we have fewer of them, so that's one of the places we put chairs, isn't it? If we're going to be consistent. And 2 tables, and then another chair there, and a chair there, and a chair there, and then we can put tables in next to all of the chairs we've just asked to install. And ideally, I would be carefully sorting the tables by value and installing the most valuable ones. Actually, I'm just going for the ones with the highest quality decoration and hoping for the best. On the grounds that I think decoration quality will be somewhat correlated with value. Right, and then we're going to need another, let's say 10 tables and 10 chairs. That will then bring us up to the dining room being fully set up as it was originally intended to be. We have a couple more stray dogs. Let us train them for war. On the grounds that we're running out of war dogs. What's our manager up to? Currently no job, which is odd. Is that because, like, I would have expected, unless we've just built... No, that's... Yes, someone does actually, the manager does actually need to, like, do some management in a bit. One of our war dogs trained. Oh, I've spotted some rot. Oh, possibly I should have disposed of some of the uninteresting bits of... What? We've got cave dragon meat that's rotting. Why has that not been moved? That's terrible. I mean, I think some of it's been disposed of, but still. I mean, disposed of by disposed of, I mean eaten. We can make some cave dragon soap, though. That'll be good. Teeth have probably might actually be big enough to be used as ivory. Right, well, let's dispose of the rotted cave dragon bits, because apparently no one is doing any cooking or putting them. Does that mean our ingredient stockpile is actually full? I think it might do. Right, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Right, make the ingredient stockpile bigger. And try to buy less cheese in future. Oh well, we've still got the bones. We can decorate everything with cave dragon bone. And make cave dragon soap, which is obviously the best, or something.
What's the soapy list?
Right, I think that has dealt with the rot problem at least. So that weapon trap is still being built. Oh yes, we're waiting to make some more. Okay, why is that table not being constructed? Was that rock moved there by someone? Right, table constructed, good. Oh, how are our various things we've agreed to build? So that temple complex is apparently in a good state. Right, we've agreed to build a guild hall, and we need to fit more stuff in there to make it guildy enough. That one is acceptable. So yes, we need more stuff in this guild hall, which is slightly unfortunate because we've just installed all our spare tables. Let's see if we can find any more. An entire squad of elk birds there. See if we can find any more precious gems down here. We've got some low value gems. Oh, there's a batch. So those ramps are aesthetically displeasing to me. Let's remove them. Right, good. Beds are getting made, that's excellent. Oh, there's some more valuable stone. Because you've been accidentally transported forward 900 years in time. Excuse me, Verity asked, why does nothing work?
Are you returning to your seat whilst taking?
There's only one proper answer to that question. So mine a small quantity of less precious gems there. And see what that does. I assume we actually have access to the caverns at the moment. I think the caverns are pretty safe. Yes. A random ceratopsid has been disposed of. So I don't think it will take very long to get those, and then we can stud a few bits of furniture with gems, with high value gems, and that should allow us to make some suitable wasp names. So a slight problem that there is, so yeah, we seem to have a bit of an issue with this Craftsdwarf's workshop, in that it's trying to decorate things with bone, but I don't think it actually has any bone available, because it's supplied by the alleged bones stockpile that doesn't appear to contain any bones, because it is actually a bones, shells, teeth and horns stockpile. I think I may need to do the same kind of thing as with other stockpiles, and actually have a dedicated bones stockpile and teeth stockpile and a horns stockpile, and a shell stockpile.
Why do we want to stockpile the teeth? I mean, the other bit's fine, but the tooth feels kind of creepy.
Things with big enough teeth, you could use the teeth as a source of ivory.
Okay. So it's kind of like horns. Well,
Yes,
horns, but
I think so. So,
okay, cool. Fine.
but we do seem to have the problem, of course, that even then the stockpile may be a bit clogged. Well, let's try to fix this. So if we adjust this stockpile to only take all possible kinds of bone and nothing else, and then repaint it so that it's only the left two squares. I mean, there is still the problem that it has, I think possibly what we should do is now try to consume all the rubbish in here by putting on, or at least consume the rubbish from that stockpile, so decorate something with shell and see what comes of that. That's far too much stuff. Not going to read all that.
You just
Right. So now that table, or sorry, that throne there is adorned with hanging rings of exceptionally worked mussel shell, which is not very valuable, but does mean that that square is available for putting bones in. And then we can go, what are the other tasks here? So we apparently do have a decorate with shell task, which is currently disabled because we don't have quite enough shell. But let's create a little stockpile here that is set to just take refuse shell all. I appreciate that, for instance, adders do not have shells, but so that one's fine because that stockpile is full of shell. And we should then set this workshop to take from that stockpile, and we should name that stockpile shell number 58. Right, and then we can also ask to decorate with horn and decorate with ivory. We actually have, so both of these actually have horn in, but let's go for the one with the elk bird antler in. So if we paint another workshop here, so that will be horn number 59. And it will take refuse, horn and hooves all. And we will then add, in the same way that we have these ones, which are if we have at least 15 of the relevant body part, this one will we'll add a new task there. Decorate with horn, which is again if we have at least 15 horn body parts to decorate things with. And finally, we set up a tooth stockpile here. And then we add decorate with ivory / tooth thing. No, that should be the same size, which just goes right. And we need to obviously set this to take from that stockpile and that stockpile. Right, now we've got that workshop set up such that it might actually do some more useful things. And here, for instance, this shale throne is now decorated with exceptionally worked tiger bone, which has significantly increased its value. Hooray, right. Our extra blingy furniture decorating system is now working even better. Oh, deep within this strange place, this is where we've been digging out precious gems. I did notice a comment when, I mentioned this weeks and weeks and weeks ago that you sometimes that the wiki says precious diamonds in particular can sometimes be found in unusual volcanic walls. Linked to a page that's headed, "This page contains minor spoilers." So I didn't read any more of that page. I think this is the minor spoilers turning up. Deep within this strange place, we've uncovered what must be a treasure of the gods. I'm slightly alarmed by capital D. Is capital D not dragon? It doesn't look like we found anything surprising. We have found a clear blue metal crossbow worth a phenomenal amount. And like we struck ruby and blue diamond, but that I think was just digging through here and finding more it does say a treasure. So yes, I think the treasure is this phenomenally valuable artifact crossbow. But not, you will observe, all crafts dwarfship is of the highest quality. It's not a dwarven manufactured crossbow.
Crafts gold ship.
And it is made of clear blue metal. Right. That's nice. Well, I'm sure we'll find a use for it. I'm sure it isn't sinister at all. We were only trying to improve our guild halls. I mean, we could just stick the crossbow on a pedestal in a guild hall and it will very much cheer everyone up. But perhaps we ought to actually use it as a crossbow. So, how short were we on this guild hall? Quite a lot, I think. Right, we need about 3,000 of value for that guild hall. I think we need to do the usual, have we got any furniture worth over 1,000? If we have, we'll install it in that. That one's getting close. Okay, we've somehow ended up with a door worth 2,908. If we put that door there, then that will boost both of those guild halls, which will be nice. So let's demolish that only moderately overvalued door. Ooh. So we've now got a message saying warm stone located, which all right, that's there. That's not just warm stone, that's like magma. And is starting a forest fire. Well, I mean a kind of forest fire, an underground forest fire. Allow me to suggest that you stop digging and get the hell out of there. So the magma seems like, I think that magma is not, there isn't a source of magma here. It just looks like we found a small pool of it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not even 9, like 6. 6, so maybe it was 7/7 of magma. I mean, I don't want to lose those faint yellow diamonds, but they are obvious. I think we should... Oops. No, I'm going to forbid the various gems around in this approximate area. Because I think we don't really want dwarves going down there. Because underground fires are dangerous. And like, I think ideally we're going to get everyone out of the caverns and then wait for that fire to burn itself out before we do anything else. We are not going to try to extinguish it because that's next to impossible. I mean, if we could get enough water there, it would work, but... So I'm going around going anywhere where there's a... where there are gems down here that we've marked for mining, we're going to temporarily mark them for not mining. So yes, I think those messages are just that we found a little bit more of the caverns. And the warm stone is, well... Yes, where we've accidentally started an underground forest fire. Wherever that is. There. Roughly in the centre of the map. What are you doing now? Where are you going? No, don't dig. If you found something I've marked for digging, I would like to unmark it for digging. Because I would like you to leave the caverns. But I can't work out where you're going. It's somewhere in this direction, apparently. I mean, I suppose I can just go up to the top of the caverns, all mining, anywhere in any cavern area. There will be no mining, it will all be converted to blueprints, and when we are ready to start mining again, now please get yourself out of the caverns before the fire catches you. A little more alacrity would be appreciated. I mean, you are walking faster than the fire is advancing, so like you will be fine, I think, if you do actually leave the caverns. And then we will... What are you doing? What is the owned item you are going to try to find? I'm pretty sure that whatever it is, there's a good chance it's on fire. I am worried by this dwarf. Because I can't tell what item it is that you're heading for. That doesn't list owned items, that only lists carried items, which means I can't just go, look, I'll forbid all your items, that'll solve the problem. But it makes me think that somewhere over here there is an item that you're coming to fetch, and that's not going to be good. Right, in order to fix that, maybe, can I find you in the task list and cancel the task? Sorry, Shem. No, there isn't a cancel thing, and I can't find the item that the job relates to. I'm going to unpause the inside burrow, which will at least mean that... Oh, that was because I was looking at the wrong person. No, that is Shem. That's Law, right, yes. That should mean at least that no one takes any new tasks down here. All right, good. And it's also cancelled that task. Store-owned item, cancelled store-owned item, item inaccessible. So that should encourage both of those two back into the main fortress. Because I think the caverns are currently too dangerous for dwarves. A stray rabbit, we should probably slaughter it. Though, like, we are a bit well off for food, really. Let's just have a quick look around for dwarves still in the caverns. Because there's a bunch of stuff now that won't be happening because I've enabled that. Oh, good. The fire hasn't, that seems to have got stopped by something along here. It looks like actually many of the underground trees may have survived. Not all of them, but some. Right, I think we've probably cleared the dwarves out of the caverns, so let's close the outer bridge. We want to find that stupid door. That's that one. So, yes, I think while that fire is going to be fairly messy, yeah, we've closed the drawbridge onto the caverns so we can release the thing, release the burrow. Burrow is a word I have great difficulty remembering. So how's that doing? We now only need 500 more value in that guild hall now that we've stuck that ludicrously overvalued door in there. What is it that's so good about this door, eh? Probably that it's studded with exceptionally worked radiant cut clear diamonds. I mean, an exceptionally designed image of Feb page basements, the dwarf and dwarves in amethyst will also help. Right. So how's this bit doing? Decorate with horn should work because we've got an elk bird antler available. We could do with another item worth a bit over 500. That bed is overkill. That chest is stupid overkill. That coffer is infuriatingly slightly underkill. Everything is either worth either. I mean, that door would be okay, but it's door. We'd have to install a door in the middle of the room, which would just look silly. Oh, well, maybe we need to wait for something to be slightly more decorated. Oh dear. Tunarta Bonul has been missing for a week. I think they may have succumbed to the magma they found. Let's have a quick look. But surely if their body had, as it were, survived, it would be down here somewhere. So yes, we're going to have to make them a memorial. We might also want to see if we've got an adequate number of miners still, if we've just lost a miner. Yeah, let's turn on our next mining capable person. So since Diziat has turned up, I should report the various things we have found as a result of digging for high value gems in the caverns in unusual volcanic walls. One thing we found was magma, which is why there's a great big forest fire underground now, because the magma escaped and filled everything with fire. So there's an advancing front of fire here. And the other thing was an utterly ludicrous crossbow. Neveka, the Silky Shields, which is a clear blue metal crossbow. All craftsdwarfship is of the highest quality. Craftsmanship, rather, is of the highest quality, i.e. it's not made by dwarves. So yes, we've suddenly had two different interesting things come of the unusual volcanic walls down here. Once this magma has solidified, we'll come back and carry on mining, and the forest fire's gone out. Which, like, I think it will. Oh, it might. I think they generally don't cross Z levels. What do you want me to construct, you horror? Bracelets, okay. I'm assuming we will have an adequate supply of bones. Don't actually know if you can keep body parts in bins. Of all of these, now that one doesn't seem to allow bins. I'm going to assume you can't, and adjust that to not allow bins, because by default I think stockpiles get allocated bins if the initial materials they take are bin capable, are binnable. Oh, we're suffering a coal shortage again, are we? Right. That's because we're actually short of like raw coal. I think that mining that lignite is probably not going to affect the layout of the fortress, but on the other hand, I feel that I want to go back to my nice open cast mining, even though it's irritating to actually organise. And we can also get a bit of bituminous coal there. Right, finally got that right. What's going on there? There shouldn't be a slope there. Tidy this up a bit. Right, we will get the Get ourselves some more coal soon. We can't currently get coal from the caverns because the caverns are on fire. But I mean, we could if we were willing to be a bit brave about it, but I'm not sure that bravery is really useful here. There's also some gypsum up here. We could just clear out some of this frass. No, that's not what I meant. That will tidy things up a bit at least. I mean, we don't need much gypsum, but it's nice to have some. That's not actually bituminous coal, but we'll have it anyway. Morion is also worth having. Oh, I think we're suffering from a bit of sluggishness. Suddenly, it's also quite late, so maybe I stop in a moment anyway. Yeah, we've got a little while, but we should probably stop fairly soon. So, how are things going? How much of the caverns are still on fire? I think that fire is close to burning itself out. It hasn't spread through that gap. I don't think it can spread down those ramps. Right, so I think while there is still a little bit of magma down here, I think the main fire itself has now extinguished itself. So we can probably think about letting dwarves down there as long as they don't get too close to the magma. But perhaps we should wait for the magma to evaporate first. So what other weapons do we... Oh, yes, we've probably got some mechanisms now that we could use to build another weapon trap, haven't we? Let's see what the best mechanism we have is. Do we have any masterwork mechanisms? Yes, we do. Let's see what there are by way of weapons of sorts we probably wouldn't ever use ourselves. We can put some silver morning stars and flails in there, I suppose. 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Right. Oh, it would be nice to sort out that guild hall so I don't have to remember it. Let's just quickly find an object that's not that valuable. Being decorated up to... Oh, that's nice. Chert throne, decorated exceptional chert throne. You can put it next to that table in the guild hall. And that should then bring that Guildhall up to an acceptable level. Yes, right. So I think that means that all of our promises to build things for people have been fulfilled, which is a good point at which to stop, because it means I don't have weird promises I have to remember next time as well. We're still happily attempting to decorate items. That bed is apparently just waiting to be decorated. Oh, right, yes, you're there decorating it, aren't you? What are you decorating it with, anyway? You're decorating it with cave dragon bone. That should increase its value a bit. Yes. Oh, no, tiger bone, sorry. Still, masterfully worked tiger bone. So now we've actually got decoration with body parts slightly working properly. It's only slightly working properly because we have these odd bits of mussel shell lying around in the wrong places. Possibly we should go and deliberately do some fishing to get some more mussel shells, so that, oh no, we could just manually run. We don't want to run ourselves out of shell though. Oh well. Still, we now have much better decorating things with body parts infrastructure than we had before. Things are actually progressing usefully in that respect. We have also made a bunch of tiger bone bracelets, which should cheer up the mayor, who is now happy, or at least who doesn't have any major complaints. Proud to have a mandate deadline met. Proud near her very own fine door. Proud after conducting a meeting in a good setting. And also empathic about her slightly annoyed citizens. And you're building a new, yes, you're building the next cage trap, weapon trap for the next invaders beating up of. We do have this enormous quantity of broken crossbow bolts out here, which is kind of messy. Anyway, there's someone's body part. Be disposed of. Right, I think that's a reasonable situation for tonight, and we will come back on probably Sunday and carry on. I mean, nothing very exciting has happened. Oh, well, I mean, apart from an underground forest fire and a mad crossbow. Possibly we should actually arrange for someone to be wielding the said mad crossbow, but we will do that on Sunday. Until then, I will save. Oh, go on. Right, yes. And say good night. Good night.